Hi, I'm Lynda Norman. I'm a watercolor artist here in the Okanagan Valley in British Columbia. I'd like to thank the Process Art Discovery audience for joining me today in my studio. I'm going to be reviewing the Lebenzon brushes that I use on a daily basis, and if you follow along till the end you'll see how beautifully versatile they are, and if you would like to order some for yourself, I'll provide you with a promo code that you can use for 20% off until the end of June. So today we're talking about Lebenzon brushes. Tracy Lebenzon is a fellow who lives near Seattle in the United States of America, and he has taken this family business on a few years ago and creates these incredible paintbrushes that he uses upcycled material. So estate sales, garage sales, wherever he can find things that he can repurpose, fur coats and taxidermy pieces, and whatever he can find to make the brushes as sustainable as possible. The handles are either bamboo or wangi, which is a form of bamboo but a thicker, different style, and they both feel extremely light in your hand, no matter which style you use. And that's one of the beautiful things about these brushes, and that drew me to them. I discovered them about 5 years ago, and honestly, I use this little brush, I think I've mentioned this several times, every time I sit down to paint. It is my the first brush I pick up every single time. And there's several reasons for that. This is a synthetic goat hair blend, and it's a 1.5 inch tip. And I don't know if you can see that the tip without anything white in the background, but it comes to a precision point, and it has been like this since the day I bought it 4 years ago. And when the package arrived at my door and I opened it, it just felt like he had made this for my hand. I absolutely love it. I don't know what I would do without it. This is a watercolor brush. It's a goat and synthetic blend, as I mentioned, 1.5 inch. But there are many, many different styles. Aside from watercolor brushes, he also makes brushes that are great for acrylic, oil, and ceramics. And he also has a line of paper that you might want to check out when you visit his website. And we'll have that information at the bottom later on in the video. So let's get started. I want to show you exactly how I use the brushes. One of the things that I just so appreciate with the brushes that Tracy puts together is that they hold such a load of water. You can see it's just full and juicy. When I use my paints, I load the brush, barely touch the paint surface, and I'm going to use this one. This is a medium goat synthetic blend, 1.5. I'd made a little list here. And you can make the finest lines. Fatter lines. You can scumble it a little bit, so if you're working wet on dry, which is what this is, you can get a lovely scruffed effect. I like it for swishing up to make grasses and leaves, because I paint a lot of landscapes. So there's a lot of versatility. If I'm doing a tree, this little brush is essential for me, because I can make the most beautiful fine branches. And then also the body of the tree as well. One of my favorites, holds a load of water, light in my hand. These brushes are really great for anybody that has issues with their hands. A lot of painters have issue with mobility in their hands and their fingers, arthritis and different things. These are absolutely lovely to hold. Very lightweight. This one has a little notch on it, the natural part of the bamboo. Some of them are straighter. There are short handles and long handles. This is a medium goat synthetic blend. And you can see it's just a little bit fluffier. But once it's wet, again, the finest point. So it's the same brush as this one, but it has the longer handle if you prefer a longer brush in your hand. Some people prefer to paint, especially if they're painting loose, they prefer to use their hand at the end of the handle. They're like a calligraphy brush. They're just delightful. So those are the two goat and synthetic blends. There are several other ones here. This one is another goat synthetic blend, but it has a longer bristle on it. This will be a 2-inch. Again, precision point. Great for big fluid movements if you're working large. It's a great brush to have in your hand. They work extremely well wet on wet in watercolor, wet on dry. You just can't go wrong with these. I've found that there's just nothing that they can't do. Aside from the goat synthetic blend, there are goat hair brushes, which are without the synthetic. Equally as lovely. Again, a precision tip, not as long a tip on this one, but again, holding so much water, like it's still dripping. And let's try a different color here. The load on these brushes is just incredible. You could paint for miles with one load. Depending on how wet your brush is and how wet your paint is, again, you get the finest lines. Or the big coverage if that's what you're looking for. On the website, each brush has a lovely description. You'll be able to see each one has a photo and a description telling you what the brush can do for you. So those are the goat synthetic blend and the goat hair. This is a fun one. This is called the itty bitty. And this little guy is, it's a Siberian elk hair. And it's very, very fine. Again, I'll hold this up so you can see the tip. And that is, again, it holds a ton of water. For this little tiny brush, holds so much. But it will give you the most precise, fine lines and wonderful control. And depending on how heavy your touch is, depends on how your lines will go. So great for detail. If you're doing animals and you want to do hair on animals, fine twigs in landscapes, portraiture if you're doing fine lines, eyelashes, and that kind of thing. Just an incredible little brush, and it does have it's 1 inch long. So it's not that long, but it still has a beautiful ability to use on the side of the brush, which is a technique that I really find helpful. And these brushes are designed to make that just a lovely process. So this one's called the itty bitty elk, Siberian elk. And it is itty bitty, and it is as cute as can be, and one of the essential tools in the studio. I mentioned the wangy handles. Again, most of the brushes do come with an option of a wangy handle or a bamboo cane handle. There's small, medium, and large diameter brushes. This is a large goat hair, and this was the, where did it go here? This was the medium, oh, that's the small goat hair. So let's take a look and compare these. You can see a fair bit of difference there. The large goat hair is going to give you amazing coverage, and again, holds just a ton of water. Still the finest point imaginable. So with a light touch, you can get a line similar to what you would get with a very fine micron type of pen. So there's a small goat hair, a large goat hair, and I have a medium goat hair here somewhere, and a medium goat hair. So let's get that one wet, and you can see the difference. So the diameter is in this part just above where there would normally be a ferrule, which Tracy does not use. He uses 50 steps to make each one of these brushes, and the hairs are set in so well that they will last forever. Like I said, I've been using mine every day for 4 years, and it's like the day I bought it. So aside from the goat hair and this goat hair synthetic blends, we have, this is a small silver fox brush. Again, for detail, you can't beat it. I'm just going to move these aside. So a small silver fox brush with a bamboo handle. This one is, I would say, 1.25 inches long. And you have an option to purchase brushes with anywhere from 1 inch up to 2 inch, I think, for the bristles. But again, this is so light in the hand. There's no drag when you've loaded your brush with water and some nice juicy pigment. It's just magic in your hand. I just love how they feel. And again, if you need to do some grasses or some filling in with your color, very, very receptive to pretty much any kind of brush stroke you want to use. So this one is a small silver fox, it's called. And I put this on the side so that it is a 1 inch. I just wanted to get the measurement right. Longer handle, easy to use. This one is a small Russian Sable. So it's going to have a lot more bendability and not quite as much snap. When they talk about snap, it's when brushes kind of pop back to where they were when you bend them a bit. This one is a little more supple. And so if you're using it on dry paper, you will get a lot of the very light. Sometimes you want your pigment to just touch the very surface of a rough paper just to get some texture. If you are painting wet on wet, so there's your water, load the brush a tiny bit. Again, it holds so much paint and so much pigment that you can paint forever. This is a small Russian Sable, and this one is 1.25 inches, I believe, by the looks of the length of that. I'll just measure it against my little trusty measure here. Oh, it's a 1 inch as well, pardon me. This is a synthetic brush. It doesn't have any natural hairs built into it. And it's called a small, soft, white synthetic brush. So we talked about snap. This one has all the snap. And again, if you're working with textures, a lot of control with this kind of brush. Brushes are stiffer, and you are going to get great results from any of the brushes. So I would think that, you know, if you go on the website and have a look at the description, decide which one would feel best in your hand and which one might suit the type of pressure you like to use and the amount of water you like to use, you'll be able to find the brushes that really work best for you. I would recommend starting off with a Goat Synthetic Blend for most watercolorists because it's so versatile. And then once you get a feel for that, you'll get a sense of where you want to go with next choices. As I say, they come in different bristle lengths. If you get this 1.5 inch, that gives you a nice medium place to start, and then you can work from there. I can't recommend them more highly. Like I say, a game changer. They arrive in the mail in a tube like this, wrapped very carefully in great shape. They're protected very well. Each brush, each order comes with a great description on how to break in a new or not so new brush, because they're upcycled. That's a great play on words. So care instructions, how to clean them, how to look after them, how to get them started, break them in, that kind of thing, and a very detailed invoice that comes along with it, and a little bit of history about Lebenzon brushes. And you'll find that on the website as well. Very thorough, very easy to follow. And as I say, I can't recommend them highly enough. They're just an essential part of my studio. So today, if you decide you'd like to try Lebenzon brushes, have a look, see what Tracy has to offer, read a little bit about his history and how the company operates, and you know, the sustainability and the upcycled aspect of it is so appealing, and it works. It works amazingly well. So whether you're a watercolor artist just starting out, or an experienced artist, or whether you paint in acrylics, oils, maybe you're a ceramic artist and you want to try some great brushes, check them out. If you go to the website and pick out the brushes you want and enter Lynda, Lynda, in the promo code, you'll get 20% off by the end of June, or before the end of June rather. So please check that out. At least go in and read about Tracy's history and the brushes and how they all come together. It's absolutely fascinating, something that's important in this day and age for so many of us. And as I say, it's a game changer for me, and I think it would be for you too, no matter how or where you paint. I think they would be, a Lebenzon brush would be the best thing you can add to your studio. I'd like to thank the Process Art Discovery audience for joining me today. If you'd like to learn more, subscribe to the channel.